Star Wars Force Awakens 2015 USA, and Star Wars A New Hope 1977 USA, two films which can be viewed through feminist film theory, incorporate character representation, sound, specifically music score, and cinematography in order to convey harrowing characters who are fighting for freedom while trying to discover themselves within contrasting socio-historical contexts, specifically how actresses were treated off-screen and on-screen during the 70s film industry versus the 2010s film industry. Feminist film theory is a cinematic criticism based on feminine stereotypes which were addressed out of the second-wave feminism politics. Elements of feminist film theory can be shown in the movies through the male gaze. Male gaze is defined as the perspective of a typical heterosexual man considered as embodied in the audience or intended audience for films and other visual media, characterized by a tendency to objectify or sexualize women. In simpler words, the male gaze is seeing women in the world from a masculine perspective, usually objectifying women. Star Wars A New Hope is a part of a sequel trilogy about a young man named Luke Skywalker who is faced with a mission around rescuing Princess Leia with the help of Chewbacca and Han Solo. The four of them are battling evil in the galaxy while also trying to find themselves. Whereas Star Wars Force Awakens is also a part of the sequel trilogy about a young woman named Rey who's trying to find out her past while learning the ways of the Force to defeat evil. I will go over a brief overview of the history of the two films and why the male gaze plays a crucial role in A New Hope behind the scenes and in the movie compared to when The Force Awakens was filmed. Society and our world as a whole was different and has progressed since A New Hope. In terms of the contrasting socio-historical context, during the time when A New Hope was filmed in the 70s and 80s, you would see a trend in movies portraying women in the male eye. The male gaze trope was at its peak during the film industry at that time. Behind the scenes of filming A New Hope, the environment in the film industry was much different from the filming time of The Force Awakens. Carrie Fisher, who was 19 at the time of filming A New Hope, was taken advantage of behind the scenes. Fisher was taken advantage of crewmates on set and was treated poorly by her co-worker Harrison Ford, who played Han Solo, which both of them resulted in a 3-month affair. Also, Fisher's body was definitely objectified on set. Fisher reported she felt pressure to lose weight for some of her future roles as Princess Leia in Star Wars. In Fisher's memoir and interview with her, she reveals how George Lucas felt about her wearing a bra on set.
Do you remember that white dress I wore all through the first film? So they put the dress on me the first day. They bring me to George. Takes one look at me and he says, "You can't wear a bra underneath that dress." So I say, "Why?" He says, "Because there's no underwear in space." And the man said it with such conviction too, you know.
She further explains her reaction to this comment in her memoir. The way Fisher was treated behind the scenes affected the way her role was portrayed in the film. A princess who is in high power, even when she tries to be in control and take matters into her own hands, somehow always finds herself needing someone to rescue her. Thankfully, when Force Awakens was filmed, the film industry evolved and progressed with society's standards today, which is more accepting than back then. When Daisy Ridley was playing her role as Rey, she did not face anything of what Fisher went through. Daisy went through intense lightsaber combat training to achieve the look of becoming a Jedi Master on screen. In terms of character representation, music score, and cinematography, the director uses the male gaze trope in order to portray Princess Leia as a damsel in distress. Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Chewbacca battle with stormtroopers to get to Leia in her cell. In the script, it says, "When the smoke clears, Luke sees the dazzling young Princess Senator. She has been sleeping and is now looking at him with an uncomprehending look on her face. Luke is stunned by her incredible beauty and stands staring at her with his mouth hanging open. As the script says this, the camera angle is creating this bird's eye view from Luke's point of view at Leia while she is laying in her cell, making her appear small and fragile. This is an important scene because the main character, Luke, gets introduced to the female lead, Leia, in his point of view through male gaze concepts in the film. The way Luke portrays her says a lot about how her character wants to be seen for the rest of this movie. When the audience gets introduced to Leia in this scene, the music score, Princess Leia's theme, is playing in the background. Princess Leia's theme is a lighter, softer flute sound, which compared to other characters' themes, like Force theme, which plays when Luke Skywalker uses and realizes the Force, is more heroic and deeper trumpet sound. Leia's music is very obviously feminine compared to the rest of the characters' theme songs, which paints a picture for the audience of how we should portray her compared to the rest of the main heroic characters. She becomes the object of the male gaze. Whereas in The Force Awakens, when Rey and Finn gets introduced to the storyline, the film introduces Rey as a protagonist that does not need saving by anyone. In one of the opening scenes, Rey defends herself and her droid from enemies. Rey sees Finn as a foreign stranger who's targeting her and her droid. While the shot focuses on Finn running, the music in the background has fast violins showing how Finn is frantically running away from Rey, and these violins lead up to a climax where Rey knocks Finn down, showing the audience she is the one who has the power. The camera angle is low and in Finn's point of view looking up at Rey. This makes Rey appear tall and heroic as the audience looks up to Rey through Finn's perspective. As the scene progresses, Finn is amazed by her toughness and passion for this droid named BB-8. As Finn tries to show off his rank as a pilot in the Resistance, Rey is only focused on the mission that has come upon her. While introducing Rey into the story, Rey's character representation plays into the protagonist's role compared to the damsel in distress role that Leia plays. When she first gets introduced to this foreign character, she does not submit to him needing rescue or help. She is only focused on the mission. In terms of A New Hope, Leia was not alarmed by this stranger coming to help and rescue her. She was already sitting in her cell waiting for someone to rescue her, even though this mission was mainly hers at the beginning of the movie. In terms of character representation, even though the two female lead characters are introduced through the male's point of view, Leia plays into the male gaze concept, which portrays her as a damsel in distress.
What is that?
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Oh, he says it's nothing, sir. Merely a malfunction. Old data. Pay it no mind.
Feminist film theory concepts like the male gaze is shown throughout Star Wars Force Awakens and Star Wars A New Hope. Character representation, musical score, and cinematography enhances male gaze concepts on the two main characters in the film, Leia and Rey, on the road to fighting for freedom while trying to discover themselves in the process. The male gaze concept also played a role in the making of the two movies off-screen, as the role of women in the film industry at the time A New Hope was filmed is different from the time when A Force Awakens was filmed. Carrie Fisher, who plays Princess Leia in the films, did make an appearance in Star Wars Force Awakens as General Organa. In the sequel Star Wars film, she portrays a general who is in control of the whole rebel fleet, and the film shows how she lets nobody get in her way.